In the heart of Saudi Arabia, where tradition meets innovation, a new dawn is rising in the world of artificial intelligence. Introducing THAKAI, the premier global AI gate, from Saudi Arabia's vision to be gifted to the world, to lead the future of AI on the world stage. THAKAI empowers researchers, professionals, and students to publish and share their work, reaching thousands worldwide with just a click. Also, all articles and studies shall be translated to Arabic for Arab audiences. Connect with the global community, access advanced AI tools, and enrich your knowledge with content tailored for every corner of the world. At the Global AI Summit, THAKAI is more than just a platform. It's a movement to drive innovation, foster collaboration, and create a future where AI transcends boundaries. Join THAKAI today, where AI meets the world and the world meets AI.
Join us in THAKAI and be part of the AI revolution.
Visit THAKAI and be part of the AI revolution. THAKAI.ai.sa.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed panelists, hello, welcome to today's session where we will be talking about translating AI research into a real-life impact. My name is Ivo Szapar, one of the co-creators of an AI Maturity Index, and it will be an honor to guide today's discussion. Before we start our journey into exploring this, I wanted to share a little personal story with you. I came to Saudi Arabia 9 months ago to join an AI accelerator backed by Sadaya. It was supposed to be just another business venture, but actually turned into something life-changing. Honest opinion, I've been to 15 different countries, I lived in 15 different countries in the last 5 years, but I've never seen such positive, collective effort to change the country according to Vision 2030. Honestly, never. So to all of you that are here, congratulations. And what struck me the most is that here you can feel and see that AI is not just another buzzword, but it's something that can truly change healthcare, city infrastructure, or boost the workforce productivity. So this is where we are today to talk about the gift from Saudi to the world. So I wanted to kick off with the speaker introductions and then discussing this new exciting project, THAKAI platform, that aims to boost AI research, AI adoption in the Arabic world. So without further ado, it's now time for our speakers to shine. So let me introduce you to Majid El-Sheri, Head of the Studies and Spokesperson at Sadaya, to Professor Tala Al-Rusan, Professor and Founding Faculty at University of California, San Diego, Professor Muhammad Yunis, Chair of the Department of Computer Science and Electrical Engineering, University of Maryland, Baltimore. Then we have our own John Windsor, Executive Fellow at the D-Cube Institute at Harvard. And last but not least, Ali Hosseini, Chief AI and Technology Officer at PwC. Welcome, everyone, to today's session. So let's start off with you, Majid. So Saudi Arabia is constantly demonstrating the commitment to advance AI, not just on the regional, but on the global stage. Today, as we just saw, Saudi's gift to the world, announcing THAKAI as a platform that aims to connect the cutting-edge research with business applications. How is it going? What is the vision? Please tell us.
Thank you, Ivo, and I'm really glad to know about your expertise and experience that you had in a couple of years ago in Saudi Arabia, and I hope that it will continue positively impacting your life for the future.
Inshallah.
THAKAI is a gift from Sadaya to the rest of the world. And the goal for the THAKAI to be published in a global event is to make it from day one, targeting the global audience, not just the researchers in Saudi Arabia. We do have, as you can see from the audience, we have very good and energetic researchers and experts in the artificial intelligence and the field of data who have done a lot. And if you look at the talks that was delivered by some experts in Saudi Arabia, whether from Sadaya or from the rest of the corporates that works here, you will find that Saudi Arabia is leading the way in advancing artificial intelligence for the best of humanity. We have seen a lot of good implementations in AI that are important, not just for Saudis, it's for the rest of the world. So this platform is aimed to share the knowledge continuously in the platform, and we want to build this dialogue between the people in the East and West through Saudi Arabia, through the Arabic language and English from day one, and probably we can expand to cover more languages in the future. And that knowledge is not just to talk. As said by His Excellency Dr. Abdullah Sharaf, we transform visions into actions in Saudi Arabia. We started by a very global vision in Sadaya that will change and transform the way AI is helping the humanity in different sectors. We have shown examples in how it can be done in health, education, media, and other sectors. We want to transfer that knowledge, and also we want to grasp what's happening in the rest of the world, East or West, to the people of Saudi Arabia. So we believe the THAKAI will be a very great tool for the future, and we have already started to talk to institutes and talk to organizations that are opening their research and detailed plans with us, and that will definitely lead to a better future.
Amazing. And if we have some AA researchers here listening to us, you can apply to the platform to publish your studies as well. The website is live. It's amazing. I saw it. So you will be able to become truly the part and co-create the AA revolution, not just here, but all over the world. Amazing. Thank you so much for this overview. Back to you, Tala. So you're an expert in healthcare. I'm curious about your experiences on the ground with the research. From your academic perspective, how AI is already helping you drive innovation with your day-to-day work? If you don't mind sharing some of the perspectives, and what do you think is actually missing when we're talking about further advancing the research? What are basically the challenges that we all need to fix?
Thank you so much, Ivo, and thanks to all of you for being here today. I am honored to see Saudi Arabia leading in this area. I'm originally from Jordan, so this is a dream come true for me to see an Arab country thinking about the barriers, the language barrier that our researchers in the Arab region face. What's happening here is really what needs to happen, and Saudi Arabia is grasping onto it in a very timely fashion, so congratulations to all of you. I am a humanitarian, I am a clinician, and also an academic. And my work relies heavily on data because I am a public health professional. So I look at population health, I look at populations at large, and we know now that personalized medicine is also accompanied by personalized public health. So when you apply interventions or health policies, they can't apply to everybody. Basically, one size does not fit all. So now we're moving more towards personalized implementation science. And to do that, you need to have very strong data, personalized data. Unfortunately, in the Arab world, we're not producing research as fast as we should. And now, with this initiative, I think we will foster more collaborations so that we're able to work together to produce research on our people. We should own it, and we're owning it. In my work, I incorporate a lot of technology in chronic disease management. So if someone has hypertension, diabetes. We actually now are doing remote healthcare, where people are measuring their blood pressure, their blood glucose levels, everything at home. And we're getting large amount of data in our offices so that people don't have to worry too much about seeing a doctor. Actually, I work with Arabic-speaking populations in the US, and our Arabic-speaking immigrants and refugees in the US face disparate healthcare, which means they have worse and poorer health outcomes than others. In fact, in the US, people of color in general suffer more than those who are born in the US. And that's my area of focus and specialty, thinking about how we can reduce these health disparities. And we do this, of course, through empowering research, but also empowering technologies that are using this data and the workforce, the Arab leaders, the next generation of leaders who are students in data science that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. Now, back to your question on what's missing. I think a lot is missing, especially in the area of health of our people. We still don't know much why we have certain diseases in Arab populations and not in others. There is so much potential to do genetic testing and work on health behaviors, on social determinants of health in our population that is needed. So more research first, because data is still missing, and that is a big barrier to thinking of an AI that serves our people.
Yep.
The next thing is collaboration. I think collaboration is still missing. I think people speak different languages in different worlds. The industry does not think of end users as much as it should. The academia focuses a lot on theories and less so on actually reaching out to industry. Communities themselves are also in silo. So I think we need to foster more collaborations and more collaborations with different countries, empowering Arab leaders themselves to, tell their own story.
Amazing. I completely agree on the collaboration side. So I wanted to double down on that. So Tala mentioned how important it is. Mohammed, from your perspective, what specific improvements you see that needs to happen when we're talking about the synergy between academics, business, and the government?
Well, first I would like to thank the host here, and I'm honored to be here. And also I wanted to make you aware that I'll be available, if you have any interest to have a personal discussion. I'm here to establish connection, build bridges, and I'm working in academia, so I will, welcome the opportunity to collaborate with any and all of you. So coming back to the question here, in my own opinion, there are probably 4 factors that are critical here. The first one is data sharing. So generally AI or machine learning is building a model based on data. So if the data is not there, practically we're not going anywhere. Most of the industry are very protective to their data. They consider this to be a secret, and actually, indeed, it's a problem for them because they are, might be revealing some important information about their product that goes, gets them to lose the competitive edge compared to others. The other factor, I feel like also is an issue that hinders the collaboration is the intellectual property. And if you work with industry, and I personally worked in industry before going to academia, if you establish any contract, well, the first thing that comes to the discussion is who owns the right to the technology. The intellectual property is very key, and most of the industry would like to keep everything, and university don't like that. They like everything to be public, and this is always going to be always a crash. And how you draw this line, this applicable for any technology, but for the AI particularly is more serious because it's difficult to really establish intellectual property. Here, how can you say this is infringing a patent if the whole thing is about data? So how can you say, well, this model is infringing a patent? So it is becoming a really critical issue. This needs to be sorted out, and it's particularly the way you see it, it's a challenge for having this collaboration on this level. Other things that really I see as an issue is how to stimulate entrepreneurship and exploration. If you work with industry, the industry generally either to invest in-house in order to keep the intellectual property, or have an establishment with the university in order to do the work. If they do it in-house, they cannot do much. They have a very huge overhead. But you go to university is more economic, but at the same time, they provide a very detailed agenda with milestones and so on. That hindered actually exploration. You cannot really go easily outside of the scope. It is very rare if you have this flexibility as a researcher to venture and also explore and fail, because this is part of the research. This is actually an issue. Now, government, in my opinion, should be filling the gap. So because government is supposed to be looking for the longer term, so they should probably provide meaningful entrepreneurship. And this is something that I can see here, this Saudi Arabia, particularly with this summit, and I attended the previous one. I see the very vibe, environment, provides more of a, seed funding, get encouraged, startups, and even for those academians who started, explore. The last thing that also I feel like it's important from the government is to invest in multidisciplinary research. It's something that most of the the industry are very well focused on their business, but particularly for AI, there are lots of global things that can go cross-discipline that is very difficult for any industry actually to venture, because they have a very specific product line and a specific business niche that they really want to maintain. This stuff should be probably be taken care of by the government.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So those were the opinions on the challenges from the academic perspective. Let's maybe turn our lenses towards the business side. John, question to you. There was a recent study showing that only 16% of employees are properly equipped with Gen AI skills. So as we can all probably agree, there is a still pretty long path for us to become truly AI ready and embrace both the part where we will augment ourselves with AI, but also there will be some parts that will be automated, and we need to be ready for that. So based on your experience with co-creating the AI Maturity Index, what do you think are the most critical factors that organizations need to consider, and also us individuals, when we're talking about implementing AI, adopting it at scale?
Thanks, Ivo. And thank you so much for the invite to come here, Majid. Really awesome to be here. First time in Saudi Arabia, and I'm really captured by the magic. Truly, the THAKAI is a gift to the world. My expertise is in the democratization of innovation, of talent, experience, and knowledge. And we've seen that as platforms have proliferated to capture other people's point of view and get them the opportunity to work throughout the world. And I think this next step of AI is really a quantum leap forward to allow for the world to really communicate in the democratization of expertise and knowledge. My sense is that the roadblocks that we face right now is that we need a lot of encouragement, like Sadai is doing with THAKAI, because, well, we have the technology, there's still this gap. There's still this AI skill gap, and that gap resides in a place, or it causes many people to fall further and further behind. So there needs to be really good interventions. One of the things that we're working on is an AI Maturity Index. My philosophy is if you want to know where you're going, you've got to know where you are right now. And so ability to understand where we are, where we're starting from, for every employee, for everyone in the community, to really start to know where to intervene and how to get people involved is really, really important. Amazing.
So I wanted to double down on the regional challenges with you, Ali. So the recent data from this year shows that 52% of businesses in the Middle East and Africa haven't yet adopted AI tools in their day-to-day operations. So as an AI expert in the region, what do you see are the unique challenges here, and why initiatives like THAKAI might change the current situation?
Thank you, Ivo, for the invite, and also Sadaya. I'm delighted to be here, a part of the event. Look, I guess everything in AI is moving so fast that by the time that this report being published, which is probably a couple of months ago, that number of 52% it probably increased. Okay, but I guess when we think about the AI and anything actually moving fast, so chaotic, you will see the different organization always look at the strategy or different strategy of adoption. And one of the challenges is when the technology moves so fast, how much investment they need to make on it, and how quickly they need to change the stuff, right? So if you think about the adoption strategy in simple terms, you basically look at a two-dimensional strategy from the adoption. The first dimension is employees, and basically give them the tools to enable them to automate the part of their work. That's really a task level automation. So someone can take the minutes of the meeting or using AI or generate content or write code and many of those. And probably in the last few months, we saw the significant improvement of some of the tools, both from the technology accuracy and also from a safety perspective. And we can see a lot of the organization right now is actually investing to rolling out their tools. And this is more like a change management and what we call a workforce enablement, okay, when you look at it from that perspective. So they are simpler and probably less costly, and the return of investment, it's much faster, right? And this brings an improvement or efficiencies on the employees level. The second level of adoption is actually transforming the organization by automating some of the processes that they do and bringing AI to that level. And when you wanted to basically invest on that level, you need a lot more skills. And these are all about a domain-specific skills, about basically the industry skills, and also lots of learning from other people who are trying to do that, and the sources, the trusted sources that you want to get to basically look at the other learning and start implementing and adopting AI. I guess the strategy that I saw lots of organizations actually using is experimental. When it's coming to the second tier, they come up with the smaller use cases, or they look at some of the use cases that they got the right and accurate data and a practical basically implementation and bringing those in and trying to implement those. I guess the platform being launched today, THAKAI, it's going to be a source of all of this learning from a different organization and different basic research institute to share, plus the level of trust that you actually have on the platforms coming here, not purely on some of the things that you basically seeing on the open source, right? And that's going to position some of these organizations to do a leapfrog if you use the platform.
Yeah. I completely agree with the knowledge exchange part here, and also the fact that AI is just another digital transformation that we're going through. It's the most disruptive, but still we need to go through years of changing our habits, implementing new tools, processes, so it all takes time. So as things take time and we need to learn from each other, it's key to have this knowledge exchange. It's key to have the right partners. So Majid, turning to you, could you maybe highlight some of the key initiatives, some of the key partnerships that Sadaya has already brought to life, but also would you mind sharing a bit more what's coming, including initiatives like the Global Ambassadors Program, for instance. So we're truly bringing the global community here under Sadaya to help the world come together, share, learn from each other.
Thank you. That was really important question. So we want this platform to be unique and also collaborative with everyone possible that we can outreach to. We cannot do it alone. And we have our expertise. However, we want this to be on the model that enable the democratization of the talents and allow for more people to join the task force. Therefore, we have started already to talk to many universities, research institutes, and companies as well. And we have some of the panelists today who are initiating those partnerships with us in Sadaya. And also we have some of the audience who represent their universities in Saudi Arabia and in the region who are willing to be part of this contribution. We believe this ambassadors program will be able to build the right global AI community that can outreach to everyone with great ideas for the future.
Amazing. So we talk a lot about AI, data, infrastructure, robots, but we cannot forget it's also about us humans, right? So given the importance of the human-centric AI development, Tala, I wanted to ask you, how can we ensure that AI research platforms like THAKAI maintain a strong connection with the global community so that we can all benefit from that?
I love this question. Thank you, Ivo. I think one of the main things to make this human-centered, and human-centered design, by the way, is a very big thing now in different disciplines, not only technology, but even in understanding human health behaviors. We like to center humans first and understand why everything from psychological standpoint sometimes stems so that you can apply solutions to it. So the first thing I think we should do is to have inclusive problem solving. And that means we engage actually diverse communities in the entire continuum, from research to implementation to actually the usage of AI. And diversity is an important piece that is usually really missing in this field. We know, for example, that women are less likely to be using AI. There's a gap here in women's usage of AI. We know that women are less likely to be at the decision-making tables, and this needs to change. We know that people of lower socioeconomic status are less likely to have access to start with. So really ensuring diversity, equity, and inclusion are centered in everything that we do, especially that we are really afraid of machines taking over, right? So if we really lose sight of engaging diverse communities, focusing on inclusivity, and also focusing on real-world problems. I mean, we have to be thinking about what's happening in the world currently. What are the major challenges? Extreme weather is a major challenge, for example. How do we think and revolve around that? How do we work together as a global community together to tackle real-world problems? And of course, when we're thinking about human-centered design, we have to ensure empathy-driven work. We have to always understand, where is this going? What am I trying to do in the grand scheme of things? When we're talking about GAIN, Summit for Humanity, we have to really engage in different communities' problems. And we know that different communities suffer differently. And we learned big lessons through the pandemic. Some people were dying more than others. People of color were dying more than others in the United States and in other places. Migrants, these people that are usually marginalized, need to be brought back to the center. And this needs to be incorporated in the entire continuum, like I said, from research all the way to the implementation of technology and AI.
I really love what you said about the real-world problems and the fact that we're focusing on the things that are important. So Mohammed, back to you. Have an amazing experience in the research. What are your advices? What are the crucial steps in order for us to focus on the right problems and to solve these problems when we're translating research into the impact that is making the world a better place?
Well, it goes back to how we share data, in a more rigorous way, an open way. I think coming back to the discussion about the industry, one good model of sharing the data from the industry perspective, like the healthcare industry. So they have you have come a long way. So if you do research on, healthcare in general, there's a very rigorous process that you go through and protocols that you need to put in place. Now, with that, we need to actually generalize this across in order to allow the sharing of the data, and then once get the data, you can harness the model, and you could actually make an impact from that. I just give you an opposite example. For people becoming, from industry, if you imagine Cisco, for example, if they wanted to share their data, and you talk to them about sharing the data, well, they'd be very resistant. How can they share their attack on their routers, and give this to someone else to you build a model? First of all, it is mission impossible to get from them their intelligent data. I worked with them on a project. There's no way. This is actually out of the reach because, first of all, it's a competitive edge. They give their security, vulnerability to others, and also make it public because there are others, those who hacking and so on. You give them treasure. Instead of making an effort, here it is, right? So for the same applies for like the industry, from the motor vehicle and car manufacturer and so on. This is their reliability data as they cannot. So this has to be handled from that perspective.
Amazing. So to you, John, when we're talking about new world, it's always about the change, and we as humans are not always interested in the change, or maybe we are, but then the actual actions are actually different. So how do you think platforms like THAKAI can actually foster this mindset shift that needs to happen in order for us to move from words into action?
That's a great question, Ivo. Thank you so much. My sense is that with all kinds of technology shifts, it's really a shift in mindset that starts the change, right? And a lot of times, for those of us that have been in the business side of things, and I think academia suffers from the same thing, is you start having a mindset of scarcity, right? You protect what you have, you don't want to change, your identity's wrapped up in that. And I think there's a shift that needs to happen to more of an abundant mindset. And one of the cornerstones of abundant mindset is the curiosity. And I think the platform THAKAI encourages curiosity and an abundant mindset, a different point of view. I think that's really important. I read an interesting post by Ethan Malik, who's one of the top researchers in AI from Wharton at University of Pennsylvania, and he said he's been really, this is a couple of days ago, he's been really shocked by the number of senior executives that are trying to develop AI strategies, yet have never used any of the LLMs themselves. I think that's the first step. With great efforts like Malik, what you're doing, that we need to get out and use things more as executives, experience that, have the curiosity of how it shapes our world and how it might shape our workforce's world. So I would start with abundance.
Amazing. So Ali, wrapping up on the solutions, if we look specifically at Middle East, what, and with your consulting background, what would you advise academics, government, the business side? We want to become more AI friendly. We want to be ready for this revolution. We want to be at the forefront. What are the top 3 things that you would give us all as your advice in order to make this really happen, even starting from tomorrow?
Well, I think probably a number one advice and the biggest advice is sharing, okay, as much as we can. Because when you look at AI, the amount of investment that you need to make in order to make something happen, and if you wanted to do it as a disjointed team, you're probably going to waste lots of resources, and the best way to actually share and join effort. I mean, if you want to do any AI initiatives, you need 3 types of skills to basically execute. Number one, you need AI researcher and scientists, so they can actually, let's say, these days, build models or improve models. Then you need domain-specific knowledge, let's say, for example, with the AI skills, like, for example, healthcare plus AI, or logistics plus AI, telco plus AI, and it's actually challenging to find those people. Okay, there are not many of them out there. And the last one is engineering skills to actually build based on that. So the sharing of the data, sharing of the learning and the use cases, and basically continuous investment of basically exploring the technology is probably the top 3. And I think THAKAI as a platform actually going to be a place that most of this data can be published for everyone to be using.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So Majid, wrapping up with you this part, before we move to my favorite part of this panel, so stay tuned. How do you see the vision for the future of THAKAI and in general AI research, where the collaboration is the key? How do you see this shaping the landscape in the next 5 to 10 years?
So let me share with you a story that we had in Sadaya 5 years ago. At that time, we had a strategy for us to go when we started the authority, and that was in 2019. At that time, we had planned a few activities. In 2020, we suddenly had the COVID-19 era, and that was completely changed everything in terms of priorities for us. And we noticed that most of the efforts went to things that have not been part of the strategy. We are living the same situation now, but it's not in an emergency mode. However, in artificial intelligence, we find it very difficult to think long-term without the agility in mind to reflect on the changes that are required to go for the future. We are having our radar for technology and AI, and this radar is helping us to know where the technologies are heading to, and we are updating that radar with few interesting technologies. Some of them are mature, some of them are less mature, and we believe we will continue doing the same thing, monitoring the future with a vision that is very flexible to reflect on the changes required, so we can match within a guardrail for the future that would help us to implement the best AI technologies.
Amazing. I really love it, because bringing agility to the academic world is exactly what we need. The world is changing so fast. You cannot have a 10-year plan and just don't make any adjustments, so I really love it. Amazing. So right now we're starting our final part of today's panel. We will engage in a thought-provoking exercise. So each of the panelists will be asked 5 questions. Disclaimer, those are private opinions, so please keep this in mind. And for most questions, they can answer only with 1 word. So this will be fun. Let's start. The first question: when will we achieve artificial general intelligence, AGI? You can answer only with a specific year. Let's start.
In Saudi Arabia, there is a lucky number that we all believe in. That is 2030.
Couldn't agree more. Amazing. Tala, what's your guess?
I am with Saudi Arabia, 2030.
Amazing. Mohammed, what's your guess?
2028.
2028, okay, ambitious. John?
I'll go with 2030.
2030, okay.
So between 4 to 6 years.
Between 4 to 6 years. Okay, good. So we still have quite some time to figure out the world when we have AGI. Good. So thinking about the future, there are a lot of questions about job creation and also displacement. So will AI create more jobs than it displaces? And here you can answer with a sentence.
So I believe AI for the long term will create more jobs.
Good.
I agree. I hope so. I hope so.
Actually, it will balance. I would say it will be removing some jobs and creating new jobs. So it will be sustained, zero net.
Okay, very good.
I agree with Mohammed.
Okay, Ali?
I think it's transforming how the job should look like. Yeah.
Okay, so it's just another industrial revolution. It will be just some jobs are gone, some jobs will pop up new. Amazing. Third question: will AI lead to a shorter work week for most employees? And now let's hear what Majid thinks. Yes or no?
In the short term, no.
Okay. And okay, in the short. Okay, the question was about the short. Okay, go ahead, Ella.
I think yes.
Okay.
Would you
So
like me to elaborate?
for the context, there are already initiatives around the 4-day work week. Bill Gates said a few months ago that he believes in a 3-day work week. So definitely there will be some changes.
Yeah.
Actually, I would say no, that there will be more flexibility. So the industry will be moved to flexible, unbounded vacation time. And this is becoming the sort. And this is already exists. And I know my own daughter work in a company with the same model.
Okay.
No bound.
So it's about the outcome that you produce rather than the hours. John.
Depends on the ambition of the individual.
Very
Some
good.
people will work more, and some people will want to work less.
Fair point. Ali.
I would say depending on the type of the jobs and also depend on the person.
Super cool. Last 2 questions. It's a pretty important one. Will AI increase or decrease global income inequality?
Increase in quality.
Increase inequality.
If things don't change the way it is right now, I think it will increase it.
Okay. Tala?
I agree. We're at an all-time high inequality rates, and it will keep happening.
Okay.
Long term will decrease.
Long term will decrease.
Yeah.
What's your definition of long term?
Well, right now, typically, any new technology, when you start, you'll find a niche. Expert becomes a stars, you're being paid, not. And then when this is becoming a known knowledge, you'll find many experts.
Okay.
And things started to balance.
Very good. John?
I again agree with Mohammed.
Perfect.
Great
Me
point.
too.
You too. Okay. Okay, so that's good. We have different opinions.
Agree.
And the last question, should there be a universal basic income, a UBI, to offset potential AI-driven job losses?
I think that's a good idea, yes.
Okay. Tala?
I don't think that's realistic given the inequality.
Okay.
I don't think it's realistic as well. There's always unemployment benefit. It's going to be the same way.
Okay.
I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
Me too. I think it would change the way the unemployment benefit is today.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I think that sparked some thoughts, hopefully, in you to think about how really AI will impact your life, your work, and that you need to act now and get involved in initiatives like THAKAI, where you can actually co-create the future and not just be passive. So I wanted to thank our amazing panelists for their wisdom and their time, and thank you for joining. Right now you will see a video about THAKAI in Arabic. That would be a wrap-up of our session. Thank you so much, and hopefully, inshallah, see you next year. Thank you.
من قلب المملكة العربية السعودية، حيث تلتقي التقاليد بالابتكار، يشرق فجر جديد في عالم الذكاء الاصطناعي. نقدم لكم ذكاي، البوابة العالمية الرائدة للذكاء الاصطناعي، هدية من رؤية السعودية إلى العالم لقيادة مستقبل الذكاء الاصطناعي على الساحة العالمية. ذكاي تمكن الباحثين والمحترفين والمهتمين من نشر ومشاركة أعمالهم لتصل إلى الآلاف حول العالم بنقرة واحدة، كما يتم ترجمة جميع المقالات والدراسات إلى اللغة العربية للجمهور العربي. تواصل مع مجتمع عالمي واحصل على أدوات ذكاء اصطناعي متقدمة، وأغني معرفتك بمحتوى مخصص لكل زاوية من العالم. في القمة العالمية للذكاء الاصطناعي، ذكاي ليست مجرد منصة، هي مشهد تدفع الابتكار من إبداع الباحثين إلى عقول المهتمين، من خلال التعاون بين المبدعين من كل العالم، وتخلق مستقبلا يتجاوز فيه الذكاء الاصطناعي الحدود. انضم إلى ذكاي اليوم، حيث يلتقي الذكاء الاصطناعي بالعالم ويلتقي العالم بالذكاء الاصطناعي.
انضموا إلينا في ذكاي وكونوا جزء من ثورة الذكاء الاصطناعي.
انضموا إلى ذكاي واكتشفوا عوالم ثورة الذكاء الاصطناعي. THAKAI.ai.sa.
Yeah.